So students, today I am going to discuss about phylum Mollusca, the type species of Pila globosa, and I will discuss about the external features, organs of Pallial complex and reproduction in Pila. This is the core course information according to National Education Policy. BSc Zoology Semester 5. Course name is non-coordinates. Course code is Zoo 501T. And in Mollusca, we'll study external features, organs of Pallial complex, and reproduction of Pila. Mollusca is second most biodiverse group with about 85,000 species, and some representative of group are snails, clams, octopuses, mussels, nautilus, squids, argonauts, sea butterflies, oysters, and cuttlefish. General characteristics of Pila are: Pila is a common freshwater apple snail found in ponds, pools, tanks, lakes, marshes, paddy fields, and sometimes even in streams and rivers. It is a voracious eater, that means it is a very greedy feeder and feeds upon plant scrapings. And Pila cuts their food with the help of tenacious jaws and regular teeth. It is adapted to lead an amphibious life. It is provided with a pulmonary sac for aerial respiration and a gill or ctenidium for aquatic respiration. It creeps with its ventral muscular foot, and to facilitate a movement over a hard, dry surface, the snail secretes slime, which when dried leaves a salivary trail behind. Sensing any danger, it immediately retreats into the shell and shuts the aperture with the operculum or lid attached to its food. So that's why the mollusks are very different from other phylums, as they are very intelligent. And octopus is the most intelligent mollusk among three groups. Here you can see the picture of Pila, how it looks like, the external feature, and when it comes out from the shell. This is the classification of Pila. Phylum is Mollusca, class is Gastropoda, subclass Prosobranchia, order is Mesogastropoda, family is Pelidae, and genus is Pila and species is Globosa. Here are the external features of Pila. You can see the external features as well as this picture shows the internal feature of Pila. So, shell. Pila is devoid of any kind of an internal skeleton. You can see in the picture, we can see the shell and the muscle. This is a muscle which is inside this skeleton. It secretes an exoskeleton in the form of shell. Shell is elongated and consists of tubular hulls coiled around a central axis called as columella. So these all are the tubular hulls, right? You can see here, and these all hulls coiled around the central axis called columella. You can see in this picture how columella looks like. Shells like in different planes so that the shell looks like conical spire and forms a conical hulls. Hulls successively increase in size and end in the largest hull or body hull. So this is a big hull you can see here. Immediately preceding the body hull is the penultimate hull. Here you can see this one. Body hull opens to the exterior by a wide opening, the aperture or mouth. Here you can see the aperture of the shell. A smooth and continuous margin of the aperture is called outer peristome. Inner margin is called outer lip, and outer margin next to the columella is called columnar lip. Shell is marked with numerous lines of growth. So here you can see so many growth lines. So these are the external features of Pila. And this is the morphology. This is again, if you can see the body of Pila, it has four distinct regions: head, foot, visceral mass, and mental. Head is the interior fleshy part of the body overhanging the foot. It is prolonged into contractile snout and it has two pairs of tentacles. First tentacle, called as labial pulps, are smaller and larger second tentacles. And a pair of eyes, you can see here, this is the pair of eyes placed on a stalk called ometophore. Foot, large, strongly muscular part of body and has sole for creeping. So with the help of this foot, Pila can move from one place to another or creep. Then visceral mass. It is a lumpy dorsal site that contains organs. So visceral mass, it contains all the organs. Then mental or pallium. Skin of visceral mass forms a thin and delicate covering called mental or pallium. At side of the head and over the foot, the mental is prolonged into the highly contractile pseudipodia. This is called pseudipodia. So now you can understand how Pila looks like when it comes out from its shell. So there are two large tentacles, then two small tentacles, and here is the foot, and these are two eyes, and the whole visceral mass. So it's the external morphology of Pila. Now come to the pallial complex and mental cavity. As in earlier slide, you have seen this mental cavity, and now now pallial complex and mental cavity. What this pallial complex is? The shell of Pila has a cavity that encloses organs and animal retracts its head and foot into the cavity for its protection and rest, which is called mental or pallial cavity. And on the floor of the cavity runs a ridge. It has a central epithenia ridge that divides mental cavity into two chambers. The right chamber is called branchial chamber and the left is called pulmonary chamber. As you can see in this diagram, there are two chambers. The left side chamber is pulmonary chamber and the right side is branchial chamber, which helps in respiration. And on the floor of this cavity, arising near the anterior edge of the right nuchal lobe, you can see here the nuchal lobe, which runs a prominent ridge, the epitenia, and which extends up to the extreme posterior end of the cavity. And this divides this mental cavity into two chambers, the right branchial chamber. Here you can see the right branchial chamber and the left pulmonary chamber. And these two chambers play an important role in respiration. And the mental cavity lodges many important structures together, which is known as the organs of Pallial complex. So now you understand that this mental cavity, which form the branchial chamber, the pulmonary sac, and together it has many important structures which are known as Pallial complex. And these are the organs of branchial chamber. These are tenarium or gills, rectum, genital opening, hypobranchial gland, and renal opening. And the organs of pulmonary chamber are pulmonary sac and osphradium. Now I will take you to the individual organs one by one. Here you can see the tenedium, these gills like structures. It lies at the extreme right side of the mental cavity and hanging vertically downwards from its dorsolateral wall. This looks like a cone. You can see here, this looks like a cone, and its gill filaments or uh, lamellae, which are somewhat triangular in shape and free in the branchial chamber. And after this stenedium, you can see here the rectum, which lies to the left of the tenedium on the floor of the branchial chamber. And it is a raised tube-like organ, which is extending from the extreme posterior end to the mental cavity and terminating a little behind the right neutral lobe. And its external opening is the anus, which is surrounded by a rosette of minute pebble. Then there is a genital opening. After this, you can see here the genital opening. So, like male or female genital that lies close to the rectum. In male, the penis, which is a copulatory organ, arises from the mental edge in front of the genital opening. Then there is a hypobranchial gland. Hypobranchial gland. It has a glandular thickening at the base of the penis, and its secretion helps in act of copulation. Then there is a renal opening, which is the anterior chamber of the renal organ, projects in the branchial chamber as a small area of reddish color. Here we cannot see the reddish color, but it is of reddish color near the posterior termination of the epitenia, and its external opening is like a transversely oblique slit situated in a shallow depression. Now, the organs of pulmonary chamber. The pulmonary sac, here you can see the pulmonary sac. It is a bag-like large organ, hangs downwards from the roof of the mental cavity, and it occupying a larger area of the pulmonary chamber. So this organ is the pulmonary sac or lung of Pila. It communicates with the pulmonary chamber through an elongated opening, and it helps in aerial respiration. Here it is very important to know that this pulmonary sac helps Pila in aerial respiration. Then you can see the osphradium. It arises from the mental adjacent to the left neutral lobe and situated on the left side of the pulmonary chamber. It is a gill-like ostradium and it is bipectinate. Bipectinate means feather-like. And if I say monopectinate, it means cone-like. And it consists of 22 to 28 fleshy and somewhat triangular leaflets. And most of the time, it helps in testing the physical and chemical qualities of the entering water and aids in the selection of food. And this is about Australium. And this is all about the pallial complex and the pallial cavity and how it divides into two cavities, the branchial chamber and pulmonary sac, and this whole organ helps in respiration.